Now let's talk about our other tool. We're gonna talk about the patch tool. I open a human face picture so we can understand it better. So just imagine I want to remove these spots here. If I use my clone tool, then I simply I click here, make my source, then I make a click here, make my source, I make a click here. You see, I can start removing these spots with my clone. But what will happen if I choose here as my source, then I click here? As you can see, the result is totally unrealistic. Why? Because I choose my source as a wrong spot. The source of my clone is so dark, and I put it in a bright area. So as you can see, the result is not good. So we have another tool. It's a healing brush tool, letter J as a shortcut. Okay, if we use this is exactly work like stamp tool. Okay, exactly, you're gonna make a source, then you're gonna click, you're gonna make a source, you're gonna click. But this time, if you make, for example, I keep my source as this black area, then I click somewhere, like, see what will happen. This is the stamp, and this is healing brush. See the difference? When I use my healing brush, even I choose the dark area or a brighter area, then I click it somewhere else, the computer start changing the color to the same contrast and the area around my working place. But I cannot do it with the stamp. Again, if I do it with the stamp, it's too different. But if I using my healing brush, you can see it's lighter, it's more natural. This actually, I can say this is a new generation of same stamp tool. Before, in the very older version of the Photoshop, like CS or CS2, they didn't have this at all. They just had the stamp tool, but right now they have this healing brush tool. So everything else is exactly the same on their toolbar, or even in your clone source, everything is exactly the same. The only difference is that with your healing brush tool, computer automatically blend your new clone area to the area around it. You can also have the spot healing brush tool. With this tool, you don't need to create a clone source. You just simply click any place that you want to change. For example, I want to remove this mold. I just click here. I make my brush big enough, and then I just click here. See, the mold gone. What happens here is that the computer, for example, if you select here, computer will understand, okay, there are some color around here, and this black spot looks a different color. So when you use your healing spot put here, these pixels that they have different tone of color, they will automatically be removed and replaced with the color around it. See? So simple. So simple. Actually, this is one of the tools that you can use for retouching. It's like the basic of the retouch of the image will start like that. Yeah, of course, there are other things that we're going to add on it, but this can be the start of your work. So with this spot healing tool, so you can simply click, or if you have a line, for example, you want to remove this line, you don't need to click separately on the line. You can just go there, click and hold your left key and drag it down. Now the whole line gone. Or like you want to remove this hair here, you just simply click on it, go on top of the hair, see, the whole hair gone, and replace with the color around it. There is other tool, we call it patch tool. It's almost look like the same with the others, but let's see what patch tool does. For example, I want to this time remove this dark spot here. You see, it's kind of big line here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this part with my patch tool. Then now I can choose a sample. That means I want to replace this part with where I simply make a left click, Then I start moving around. So I can see actually, like for example, I want to replace that area with this new spot. See, it's replace it, that line gone. And as you see, again, the computer starts blending my colors with the color that it was before. So it's not that totally different. If I want to like use the clone, or just I simply copy something here, for example, I copy something here and I just place it here, you see it's totally the different color, the lines are so sharp. But if I use my patch tool, computer will take care of everything. It will match the color, it will make me the smooth lines, and no issue at all. Of course, if you see that something doesn't work well, I mean, you use that, then again you use your history brush, or you use your healing spot brush, or your stamp tool to fix it, and so it will look totally natural. So they were the three tools. We have other one, content evermove tool. What's that one? For example, you have a JPEG image. You want to move this chair from here to this place. Okay, so you can easily use this tool. You select the chair and the shadow, of course, and move it here. Okay, you can change the size of also if you want to make it smaller or larger. Move it up, down, make it in the perfect place that you want. For example, I want it here. Then you simply click here. Now let's see what will happen. See, it's totally removed and get placed here. So actually what computer did, it's generates the background itself. It just choose the color around, like the ocean, the sand color, and it just generated here and put my image here. And also here, try to blend it well. Yeah, there are some areas that they are not perfect, like these parts. But you see, like in the sand, it's perfectly clean. It doesn't, you cannot see any line here, or here is perfectly clean. Of course, you make it like that, then you can easily use your stamp tool or your healing brush tool to fix the parts that they were not clear much. For example, here I just have to fix this line. For example, see? So simple. Of course, it's not the way that we move the object in the JPEG file. I mean, when we talk about the photo editing, there are other techniques more accurate and more realistic. But anyway, this is one of the options that you can use for simple works in your images, in your pictures. And finally, here we have another tool, red eye tool. Let's see what this red eye tool is. So sometimes when you take picture with your camera, especially when you're using the flashlight, you can see this will happen to the eyes. The eyes become red. So you simply go here, pick this tool and click. That's it. You solve the problem with only 2 clicks. And of course, sometimes when you click, it happens that the area around it also get affected, the color get changed, but you can always use your history brush and remove the other effect, bring them back to the original color, and just keep this in the middle. So that's it. That's the special tool for this, and that's the only thing that you can do with this tool. Doesn't do any other thing. Now let's talk about the gradient and the paint bucket. Well, let me create a new file. Okay, so what is paint bucket? It's simple. Let me create a new layer here. You make a selection, you go here and your paint bucket, the second one, and make a click. That's it. Any color that you choose here, it will be in there. And click another one, select another one. That's it, it can bring. Okay, and you can also do one thing. For example, I choose color red. Then I go to my paint bucket tool. Then I just click on this color. what will happen is the whole colors that they are similar to each other, it will change to my new color. So again, if I click here, this also changes red. If I click on my background, of course, the whole background will change to red. So that's it. It's just something simple, nothing much to talk about it. Simple tool. But we're not going to talk about this one because it's for the 3D works. We're not going to talk about 3D sections at all in these videos. So let's go to the gradient. What is this gradient? As you remember, I always tell you guys, if you want to change your color, you can click here and pick any color. Now for the gradient, we're gonna use two colors. We're gonna also change the background color. Now if you go here, make a double click, you can like choose another color, like let's pick green. Okay, now I have these two color here. If you want to exchange the place of these two color, like put the green as your foreground and put the blue as your background, you can simply click here on this icon. You can see that it's changing easily. And if ever you click here, these two will change to black and white. If I click here, my foreground change to black and my background change to white. Now let's talk about what is gradient. With this tool, I can simply I make a click in one place and another click in another place. See what happened? From my foreground color, the colors start changing so smoothly until it reaches my background color. Okay, you can give the direction. For example, if I make it like that, that will be my direction. Make it like this, that will be the direction. So here are the important things. The more you put distance between your 2 points, the softer is your gradient is. If you make it a small area, as you can see, it's so sharp because I just give a small place for the gradient. So that means only from here to here I need to change my color from blue to red. Of course, the change is much sharp, much faster. If I give in the large area, the change is more smooth. You can also, if you go here and then click here, you can see you have some presets here of the different type of gradient that you can choose. For example, if you choose this one, let's see what this one do. For example, this one, as you see, it's my foreground going to transparent. It's not going to my background color. So if I use it, basically that's what happened. From blue, it will start fading to nothing. It's not fading to white. It will fade to nothing. Like if I make it the PSD, as you can see, this is transparent. Then I make a gradient here. See, it's from blue going to invincible. So basically nothing. You can choose also different type of the gradient here. For example, if you pick up this rainbow, let's see, you have the rainbow colors here. And of course, whenever you click on each of these type of the gradient, if you want to change the colors, you don't need to just go here and change the color here. You can easily click on any of these squares here. For example, if I have this one, let's see this one, for example. If I have this one, I just click here, I pick any other color that I want. For example, I make it pink. Now if I create that, here is my pink color. So you can always actually see the sample of your gradient. For example, here from blue, that will be the effect. If you go here, that will be the effect. And that's the effect. From orange go to yellow, then go to orange again. So you always see what kind of effect it will be. You can also save. You create your own type of gradient here. You can save it. You can load the different gradient if you ever want it. So this was the colors of and the style of your gradient. You can also change the format of your gradient. This one is a liner gradient that we have. Okay, like if I put the color, this is the liner gradient. Let me actually go to the normal one so you can see the changes. This is the liner one, okay? Now I can change it to this other type. This is different type. It's like one color at the center, like a circle, then the background color around it. You can have it also like this. This is other kind of, then it looks like you are looking at the piece of paper from the top that they just folded around it. This is other one. It's like background, foreground, background again. And of course you have the star shape. So it's up to you guys. You can just start using them, create different effects. For example, these that we always look at these at the start. You can see I put a gradient effect here from the purple going to the blue. That's it. That's the gradient effect behind it. So now let's talk about these two words, blur and sharpen. What is blur? What is sharpening? In the simple word, that means fluing or focusing on something. Here, if you go here, under the gradient tool, you have three tools here: blur, sharpen, and smudge. What is blur tool? Simply, if you start blurring an object, you will make it flew. So what will happen actually? Let's talk about the technique, what's going on here. See, before I blurred an object, you can see there are lots of pixels here with different colors. You can easily define each pixel here. When you start blurring the object, actually you are blending the pixel together. Look, the color of the pixels here, it's almost, they are all same color. Here they are all same color. So that's how actually you flew an object, the picture, because you're actually blending the color of the pixels together. And in other hand, I have sharpen. Sharpen is exactly opposite of the blur. When you use that, you start making the image more focused. Let's see now what happened here technically. Here you have lots of pixels before you sharpen it. Yes, the colors are defined, but not that much strong. You have a nice smooth lines here. But when you sharpen something, you can see you try to emphasize each pixel separately. So that's make the image become sharper. So they are always against each other, blur and the sharpen. If you go to the menu, you can see also you can change the type of the brush of your blur or the sharpen. They are exactly the same. If you see the menu, they are exactly the same. There is no difference between them. So here you have the strength. If you decrease it, actually your blur will get smoother. For example, this is the 21%, but if I make it under 100, you can see it's stronger. So actually that's the power, how much you want to blur it and how much you want to sharpen it. Then if you go here on the mood, there are different kind of mood. We're not going to talk about them because we didn't talk about the colors yet. But let's talk about this darken and lighten. What is darken and lighten? So basically when you choose the darken, the effect of your blur will be on the dark spots. Okay, this is darken blur. Let's make a snapshot so we can compare them later. And if you choose lighten, your blur will affect on the lighter pixel, the brighter pixel. Okay, so let's see. This is the darken blur. This is the lighten blur. And if I do the normal blurring, basically I'm gonna affect both dark and light together. So here, normal blur, lighten blur, darken blur. You also have the same things for the sharpen tool. You have also the darken, lighten, and the other one. We're gonna talk about them when we done with the color things. You also have the strength, if you make it like 100, the sharpening effect is higher. If you put it like in the 14%, the sharpening effect is not that much strong. And finally, I have this tool, a smudge tool. What's that? It's simple. Just imagine that you are drawing on a piece of paper. Then sometimes you see that your hands go on top of the color. What will happen is like that you smudge the color. So basically, it's the smudge tool is doing the same. Actually, you see the icon is look like there is a finger. So it's look like you draw something, then you put finger on the color and try to smudge them. Look, that's it. If you make it stronger, the effect is too much strong. If you make it less, the effect is not that strong anymore. Of course, for all of these smudge, sharpen, or the blur tool, all of them, they have these. Actually, you can work with your brush tools. You can change the style of your brush with the hardness, the sizes. They have it. Also, your stamp tool, your history brush, your erase tool. All of them actually, whenever you see these icons here, that means you can change the type of your brush, or the hardness, or the softness, or different things about the brush. Okay, so that was our lesson today. We talk about this information tools, stamp tools, patch, and the gradient. We talk about the blur and sharpness, and we learned two more of these panels here. We talk about the node panels, and we also talk about for the clone sort panels. We also talk about this one. So see you guys in the next lesson.